Hello and welcome to Season 5 of the NGO Whisperer Show. My name is Dr. Carolyne Opinde. I am the founder of the NGO Whisperer and the convener of the NGO Whisperer Masterclass, the official sponsors of the NGO Whisperer Show. At the NGO Whisperer, we provide technical support to nonprofits and social enterprises so they can successfully impact people's lives. Joining us today from Roatan in Honduras, in Latin America, is Victoria Rose. Miss Victoria is a board member of Tree of Life Ministries, Spanish America. Miss Victoria, welcome to the show.
Hi, Caroline. Happy to be there.
It's really a great honor and a pleasure to have you here. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Victoria is one of the NGO Whisperer Global Fellows class of 2021. And indeed, Season 5 of the NGO Whisperer Show is dedicated to our fellows. And so, Miss Victoria, I know you come from a nursing background and you still practice nursing where you are in Honduras. But what inspired you to step into the nonprofit sector?
About 9 years ago, I took a mission trip to Honduras, went to a school on the mainland working with young adults where they were providing education, a Christian fellowship environment, and I absolutely fell in love. I love the children, I love the country, and after some soul searching and kind of really digging deep as to what I wanted to do with the rest of my life, I made the decision to move to Honduras and spend my time full-time in working with education efforts here in the country.
How wonderful. So you work with Tree of Life Ministries, Spanish America. You are a board member. Share with us, what is the focus of your work? What kind of work do you do? You've mentioned education, but in what areas specifically? Who do you serve and who are your partners?
Education here in Honduras, unlike in many countries in more developed nations, education is not something that's really valued. Education in Honduras goes mandatory only to 6th grade. After that, children are just sort of left to go get a job or fend for themselves in many cases. We provide a high school education, but we also focus very heavily on job skills and job training so that our students, when they graduate, are able to actually go out into the workforce as a skilled, experienced employee. They have work ethics that are unmatched anywhere in the country due to the discipline and the environment that they've now spent 4 or 5 years growing up in. And our goal is to provide the nation of Honduras with a workforce, a next generation of leaders that look beyond a job, so to speak, and are really focused on changing the nation and their contribution to the country.
For how long has Tree of Life Ministries Spanish America been implementing this program? And every year, how many students go through your program?
Tree of Life Ministries has been doing this work for over 25 years here. We typically have about 100 to 150 students per year that graduate from the school. We've had as many as 200 or 300 at some points, but that was when there was a significant need for youth that were at risk to have a safe haven to be growing up in. So typically we're at about 100, 150.
What kinds of subjects do you teach them that is so different from other mainstream schools?
We have a very heavy focus on business, so our students will go through 4 years of business administration courses so that not only when they get out of school and have a job, they understand how to start a business, how to run a business, how to manage the finances of a business, and how to in turn grow that business in the future. So heavy focus on business administration and on trade skills. So carpentry, welding, finance as well. We do computer sciences and marketing. So they come out, they have exposure to a very, very well-rounded curriculum of courses.
As you've mentioned some of those trades, I would imagine they get to practice it. Do you have workshops where they practice the welding and the farming and all that you are teaching them?
They are literally spending 4 years hands-on in the trade that they've chosen. So through our ancillary projects that we do in the communities that we serve, the children are working. We may be building homes for widows. We may be building schools. And as we're doing that, the kids are working side by side with our team, learning those skills so that they are actually graduating not only with, the trade knowledge, but the hands-on experience, and can put on a resume, that they have worked in the field, have spent, X number of years actually performing the work that they're qualified now to do.
Are there some success stories from your graduates who are doing well in the marketplace right now? Share some examples with us.
Happy to. So we have a number of students who have gone on to become business leaders in their communities. They own their own businesses. One gentleman now owns a dairy where he not only produces the milk, but sells to national retailers here in Honduras. We have another gentleman who is in politics and has gone on and is doing, a lot of social good for his community, not too far from the school. We have students who've gone on to become lawyers, doctors, medical staff. It just kind of goes on and on. We have an incredibly high rate of graduates who have gone on to become successful entrepreneurs, business people, business leaders.
That is a great example of a model that works. And now let's take it back to, how do you recruit young people into the program? I would imagine every young person in Honduras would want to be part of Tree of Life Ministries schools.
That is true. It's a very difficult process for us. The children have to come to the school and interview with our staff. Usually it's a minimum of 3 times, at least one of those with their parents. They have to show a desire, obviously, to be at the school. They have to show a need. And for us, it becomes a very hard process. We may have as many as 1,000 applicants for 100 seats within the school. So we really kind of try to look at the whole picture and where we can best serve that child and his family. So it sometimes is a bit heart-wrenching to make those decisions, but we are very well known within Honduras for what we do, and the students do sort of flock to us every December, January timeframe.
Wonderful. Now we are switching gears and going into our recent relationship that we have built with Tree of Life Ministries, you as the NGO Westboro Global Fellow Class of 2021. You've completed a 6-month rigorous program. Why did you apply to be one of our fellows?
I spent many years in the business community, in the business world. And I've been, I was vice president of a number of large companies, and I thought I knew a lot about business and business administration and networking, but I realized working with Tree of Life Ministries that the nonprofit world is incredibly different. And I really felt like I needed to understand better how to maneuver and how to work through some of the challenges you face as an NGO that I didn't have experience with in the business world. So the class for me was eye-opening, and really has helped me to understand how we need to make some changes within our own nonprofit to grow and to better serve the community that we are working with.
Oh, wonderful. We are just so honored to have you as one of our fellows. Of course, as an alumni of the Global Fellowship Program, we are very proud of the amazing work that you do. Share with us, what are the 3 things that you learned, or 3 areas of knowledge or new insights that you gained from the fellowship program?
One thing for sure is planning is so critically important. And one would think that that's common sense, but when you're in a nonprofit world, oftentimes you are distracted just by the day-to-day, getting through the challenges in front of you today. And you'll deal with tomorrow when it comes. So being able to sit down and really plan out a strategy for the future is critical. And while you still need to deal with today's issues, keeping your eye on the ball and the focus on the future, really, it was emphasized heavily in the course, and it really was able to help me understand how we need to do that better within our own organization. The other thing was networking and creating a group of like-minded folks that you can go to and have as a resource to be able to bounce ideas off of, to be able to talk through ideas, to be able to just get an opinion outside of what you see in front of you every day, and know that they are facing different but similar challenges with what they do, but they understand where you're coming from in a way that sometimes others may not. Those are probably the 2 biggest changes. And I guess the third one would be resource mobilization, the need to be able to include everybody in what you do within the organization, and not let everything fall to 1 or 2 or 3 people within a group, to be able to create a team around every project that you're tackling, to ensure that you're all working towards the same goal, everybody understands the goal, and that you're all looking to achieve the same outcome.
Those are great insights and areas of knowledge that I believe are useful, not just to the fellows, but also to me as an individual. And even here at the NGO Whisperer, we keep learning every day, and even with you fellows, learning from you. Now, how has your organization changed since you started implementing the learnings from the NGO Whisperer Global Fellowship Program?
2022 for us is an entire year of reorganization, based on a vision that we have for how education should be provided in this new world of post-pandemic learning, but also based on the teachings from the workshops. And we are using 2022 as our transformation year to really implement the things that we've learned in the class, the structures we want to have, and to create a new plan for education and the delivery of that education to the children of Honduras.
What do you see as the future of Tree of Life Ministries Spanish America going forward?
Our vision is to have multiple campuses across the country in a way that our educators are providing their services remotely in some cases, and our students are all living on campuses around the country. So they're receiving the structure, which is so critical for our kids, the structure, the discipline, the fellowship they have with their other students, but they're doing it in places perhaps closer to their home than they currently do today. And our teachers are able to come in via technology now from anywhere. So we're able to get the best and brightest teachers to come in and teach classes, have teachers' aides in the schools, in the classes with the students, providing that mentorship that's necessary. and children being a little closer to home, but still in a safe haven environment where they're able to be molded in a way that have really helped them to become more productive citizens when they graduate.
You've mentioned that the children need to be in a safe haven. Share with our audience the issues or social evils that children in Honduras generally face, because some may not be aware when you talk about having children in a boarding facility as a safe haven.
As I mentioned earlier, education as a whole in Honduras is not something that's particularly valued by parents, or frankly by many people. So children are often sent to work in the fields, to beg on the streets, they get involved in trafficking, they get involved in drug trafficking as well. So it can be a very, very dangerous place for young people. By bringing them out of the communities where they live and where the danger is, and bringing them into a safer environment, we're teaching them values that they may not be learning at home. They may not have parents at home in many cases. And by having them in our schools or on our campuses, they understand and begin to learn what a family is like, how a family interacts, what values are important to them, and what values they need to have as they leave and graduate and go out into the world. And they are given an opportunity to see beyond working for a drug cartel, or working in the sex trafficking trade, or begging on the street. Because for some of our kids, sadly, those are their only options. And, Honduras tends to be a country with a lot of children that don't have hopes and dreams, simply because it's just not something that they've ever understood or could imagine.
What a blessing Tree of Life Ministries Spanish America is, bringing hope to children who would have otherwise fallen into the hands of drug cartels or human traffickers. And here you are creating politicians and leaders in the market, and amazing people who are actually rebuilding the economy of the country. So as we come to the end of our show, I wanted to ask you this. What last message do you have for the government of Honduras, or any other government that's looking at enterprising and empowering young people? What message do you have for civil society, nonprofit sector, or social entrepreneurs, and any good citizen on how best to empower and enterprise young people?
You can't do anything to improve your nation if you don't improve your education. If you don't educate your people, you will continue the cycle of poverty, of crime, of misery. And by providing an education, you change a child, you change a village that child comes from, because now there's going to be better economic status for that family within that village to do more for the village. And ultimately that leads to nation changing. And it all starts with being able to read, being able to write, being able to dream, being able to learn a trade, a skill, advanced education. Without it, there's no hope.
Well said. That reminds me of the powerful words that Nelson Mandela, as we call him in South Africa, Tata Madiba, he said that education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. And indeed, Tree of Life Ministries Spanish America is working through or using education as a vehicle through which they're changing the nation of Honduras. Thank you so much, Ms. Victoria, for joining us today at the NGO Whisperer Show. We are truly honored.
My pleasure, Caroline. Thank you so much for having me.
Lastly, where can people find you on social media?
www.tolm.org is our website. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're everywhere on social media you can find us, but we are tolm.org. Tree of Life Ministries, Spanish America, based in Honduras.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Tree of Life Ministries, Spanish America. They are empowering young people in Honduras. They are providing a program that is enterprising the youth. Therefore, this is a program model that is effective, it is scalable and replicable anywhere around the world where you're looking at working with young people and empowering them. If you want to contribute or support them, go to their website, find out the work that they are doing, or if you're interested in collaborating with them and replicating this program in your country, they are open to collaboration. As you've heard, they are looking at setting up schools around the country. So that is an opportunity for collaboration for the program to reach more. As we come to the end of this show, we invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on social media. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we are grateful to have Ms. Victoria Rose, one of the NGO Whisperer Global Fellows, class of 2021. For those who are interested to be part of the NGO Whisperer Global Fellowship Program, class of 2022, we invite you to go onto our website and apply. The application opened on the 29th of January and will close in 30 days. We invite you to go ahead and put in your applications. As always, it's all about connecting people, raising funds, and impacting lives globally.